Hi there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Happy Christmas Eve and welcome to day 24 of my trip down memory lane. If you have missed it, I've spent the month posting videos that are of cards that are basically throwback cards that I absolutely loved, that I've created over the past 5 or 6 years during my holiday card series, maybe a Festive Friday or last year's Elfmas. I believe this card was from last year's Elfmas, but before we get into that, don't forget in the description box down below will be links to every single one of my holiday card playlist. So whether that is a holiday card series, Festive Friday, etc. You'll also find a link to my Etsy shop where I sell the cards that I made. So yeah, and this is every single video has a giveaway attached, so all you have to do to enter is leave a comment, and it is open internationally. You have plenty of time to go watch the other 23 videos if you want to leave your comment. I will not choose winners either till the end of this month or maybe even to the first or second week of January. I will post something in the community tab to let you know, and I will respond to your comment if you are the winner. Excuse me. This card is probably the most beautiful card I've ever made. Like this card, I'm so proud of this card that it's in a frame. Like I framed it. I love it so much. So this is a set from Crafting Kimmy, and Crafting Kimmy is a shop in Canada. But this artist, our style is just so similar. And this stamp set is just so beautiful. And it was a struggle to make this card, but it was worth it in the end. It's a lot of coloring, it's a lot of ink blending, but in the end, I created like it's basically a work of art. I'm treating it like a work of art. And I thought it was fitting for Christmas Eve to share a card representing Jesus' birth. So if you are a Christian and you believe, thank you for watching and Merry Christmas. If you're someone who is agnostic or whatever, happy holidays to you. I hope you guys just be happy, safe, sane. If the holidays are hard for you, just know that I'm thinking about you and praying for you. I know the holidays aren't easy for everyone. It's not all comfort and joy, but I really hope that you can enjoy your holiday. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for all your support. I know that I had to end the 2021 holiday card series early because of health. My hope is that in 2022, my body kind of chills out. We get used to all the medicine and I can get back into crafting because I really do miss it. So don't forget, in the description box down below, you will find links to former holiday card playlist, along with a link to my Etsy shop. I will be back sometime in 2022. I'm not quite sure when that will be. I am filming this on December the 1st. So we'll see how I feel as the month goes on. But just know that I really appreciate you. I love you. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comments down below because every video is tied to a giveaway. It is open internationally. I will pick winners in the next few weeks. So yeah, love you guys. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all of the things. I love you and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Hi there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome back to another day in the 12 days of Elfmas, and welcome back to the last day of this makeup. I promise, I know you're probably tired of seeing it, but it's just so much easier for me to sit down and film all my intros in a row. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Today's card is probably one of the most beautiful cards I've ever made. Probably tied with the Craftsman fireplace that I made from Anthony this year. I am using the Oh Holy Night from Crafting Kimmy's, and I'm going to make sure to insert, so the footage you're going to see is not the footage that I used to make the finished card, because I got to the very end of the card and couldn't decide what to do with the star, and I screwed up the whole entire thing and had to completely start over. There was no saving it. I cut out all the images. I shouldn't have done that. So I made some mistakes, but it's a card that I felt was worth reproducing, and it's actually one that I will probably scan and frame because it's just that pretty. So yeah, so let's head over to my craft table and I'll walk you through how I created this beautiful nativity. Friends, I cannot convey to you what a struggle this card was. So we're going to be making a slimline card using the Oh Holy Night set from Craft and Kimmy. Remember when we talk about perspective, whatever you want in the front has to be stamped first, and then you cut a mask and you cover it. So I knew that I wanted the sheep and the cow to be at the very, very front, with then Mary and Joseph behind them, with baby Jesus in the manger in the middle. Initially, when I was thinking about the concept of this card, I considered making a portrait style card and trying to draw a cave rather than just doing a night sky. But I thought this would work a little bit better. So I'm going to cut out the mask, and through the magic of YouTube, there they go. So now I'm going to bring in the star, Mary, and Joseph. Now, I'm going to say this. The end card that you guys see is not this card. The card you're going to see at the end is the fourth card of this card. I had so many issues, and they all happened at the very, very end, and they all managed to ruin the card. So that's why I had Rob scan it today, because I was like, oh my word, I can't handle it. So I decided that I wanted baby Jesus to be just a little bit behind mom and dad. So I went ahead and stamped him and the star, went ahead and covered up both with a mask, and that's because I'm going to be doing some ink blending with my distress oxides. I want to create a night sky, and I thought for a minute that I was going to create a night sky with my Copics, and we all know how that turned out. So I decided to go ahead and do some ink blending. If you are unfamiliar with masking, I use the Eclipse masking tape, and it's spelled just like a moon eclipse, that I get off Amazon. Now, it's not cheap, but I still have like over half a roll left, because you don't go through it very quickly at all. So this is what the roll looks like. And you can see that it's still pretty full. And this is probably going to be the biggest piece I've used. I was trying to figure out how to mask the star. And I was like, well, no, that's not going to work. So it took me a couple of minutes to get this straight. And I was like, no, that's not going to work, because I wanted to make sure that I had a beam of light that was white, and it was clear of what was going on around it. So I ended up bringing in a piece of that masking paper and just kind of putting the point on the point of the star. And then that's how I masked it. We're going to start though with the ground. So I used Vintage Photo and Walnut Stain. And here I'm just swatching it to see which one I wanted to use first. I really need to make some labels for these things, or at least make a swatch book. So I'm going to be using my ink blending tools rather than the brushes for this. Later on, I do bring in the brushes, but for this part, I'm just doing using the ink blending, because I'm not trying to do a whole bunch of shading and stuff. That will come later with some markers. I just wanted to base down. I just wanted some dirt. So here you can see that I put it on the tip of the star, and I'm going to be using 3 different colors of distress oxides for this. I'm going to be using tumbled glass, faded jeans, and then I believe black soot. Yeah, black soot. So I'm going to do a gradient from light blue all the way out to black, starting from the middle and then going out. This will give me that glow around the star without having to leave it a stark white. So I'm just blending back and forth and trying my best to make sure that I leave myself enough of a halo, but also blend in those colors so it looks more like a night sky and not just 3 colors, side by side. This is where I went ahead and brought in some of these are either called toothbrushes or what are they called? Oval makeup brushes or toothbrush makeup brushes. I mean, sometimes these sellers a lot of times it's from China or something. The translation doesn't always come across well in English, but they're just oval makeup brushes that you can get on Amazon. I know a few craft companies sell them, but they sell them way marked up. And this was like $12 for a whole set. So again, just check out Amazon for those. And you may not like them. You may prefer to stick with the blending sponge, which is okay for me as well for the most part. But sometimes it's a little bit easier to hold on to the actual brush rather than the little blending tool, etc. So I'm bringing in the biggest tool to do the tumble glass one more time. And then again, I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. So here, you're also going to notice a difference at the end of the night sky. So that's just a little bit of white acrylic paint mixed with water. And then I flicked my brush. So what I ended up doing later is I finally have a box to do this in, and I made sure that I was pretty far away. The closer you are, the bigger your splotch is. So that's why it looks like I have some really big stars in the sky, or they look like really big paint splashes. But yeah. So I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to go ahead and add in some quadruple zero, I think is what I did, to beam down onto the Holy Family from the star. And then something that I did here that I didn't do in the card that I completed just now, that you're going to see at the end, is I brought in the blender pen to kind of blend that edge. Instead of using the blender pen for this latest card, I went ahead and just used a Copic marker. Here is where the magic happens. I love one layer cards so stinking much. So, and you can see my phone up in the corner. So I am probably going to let you guys just watch this, most of the coloring, because it's stuff that you guys have seen me do before, and there's a lot. So I'm going to turn on some music, and I'll catch back up with you when it's time to move on. Initially, when I colored Joseph's robes, I felt like there wasn't enough contrast between his clothes and the ground. So I brought in some of the I think it's E89, E87, and E84, which are more of a greeny brown, so more like a khaki army kind of color. So I really like how that really pops off the page rather than what we were doing with the light browns, because it really did just end up looking like he blended in. So for their complexions, they were Middle Eastern, so I gave them darker complexions. I did make sure to color baby Jesus a little bit lighter, because when brown babies are born, they're born a little bit lighter, and it takes a few weeks for them to get a little bit of a darker color on them. So that's why he's a little bit lighter. I cannot color Mary in anything other than blue. I don't know where that imagery came from, but every time I think of Mary, I think of her in blue robes. So I'm using some of the darkest kind of gray blues. I think it's 99, 97, 95, 93 to color in. So inside of her robe would be the darkest because it's in the shadow. And then, of course, the top would be the lightest because it's closest to the star. And then, of course, where the cow is, there would also be a little bit shadow if we're looking this way. The reason why I colored it this way is because I didn't want to have to bother with yellow light. Like, I didn't want to have to color, some of them yellow. I did try to make the right side of all of them lighter. And you can really see that on Mary and Joseph. So hopefully that helps you guys. For Mary's robes, I did go with a brown, but I ended up going a little bit darker and a little bit warmer than what's going on the ground. And like I mentioned, I am going to blend out some colors to give them a bit of shadow. So, and again, inside of her sleeves would be dark, under her arms would be dark, under her neck would be dark. Just think of where things connect as someplace that's going to be dark. So I decided to go ahead and put Jesus also in blue. I just thought it made sense that Mary removed part of her clothes or something like that in order to swaddle him, because it's not like they had swaddling blankets back in the day. You know what I mean? So for the wood box that he's in, the manger, and for Joseph's staff, I went with a cool brown just to give us that contrast. Plus, when I think of weathered wood, I think of more of a gray. I guess because I see so many fences that when they weather, they get like more of a gray tone. So here I am adding the shadows and just blending it in to the oxides. I've never had an issue using my Copics on top of oxides, but you really have to proceed at your own risk. So I should have stopped here. Well, not here, but I was like, what am I going to do with the star? Here I'm just using a blender pen. Stress oxides activate with water, just like the stress inks, and an ink pen is basically just a solution that helps you blend. So I use that to go around to kind of remove the white, because I don't always color my, or cut my, mask out correctly. For the straw, I brought in E99 and then a YR23 and I believe 21. You can see it on the bottom right of the color page. Again, I used my hex chart from Sandy Allnock and got these colors, and I just really, really love how this turned out. So yeah, 23 and 31, excuse me. So this is where I screwed up. I couldn't decide what to do with the star. I thought I wanted to add glitter, and then I brought in some Nuvo drops and tried to mix them together, and it just looked awful. It just really looked awful. And there was just no way to come back from it. I tried to put a new star on top of it. Like, it was just a comedy of errors. But I really am happy with how this card turned out. I'm so excited to get it framed. This one is not going to be on Etsy. I'm keeping this one. After more than 10 hours of work, I'm going to keep it. So yeah. So your question of the day is, what did you do today? Or what are your plans for today? Because I guess this is going up early for some people. So make sure you leave your answer to the question of the day in the comments. Write down the word of the day. There I'm showing you where I had Rob scan it, because I was like, I am not coloring this for a 5th time. I'm not doing it. So yeah. So everyone, I thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. I can't believe there's only like 4 more videos. There's only 4 more days till Christmas. Oh my word. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye for now.